And welcome back, everyone, to the Bitcoin Business Bureau. I'm your host, as always, LitecoinLeader. Today, it's Wednesday, kind of a catch-all day. It's a ride-along day as I go and pick up some sushi for lunch. But that's just part of my routine. But as part of my Wednesday routine, aside from my hair looking all wonky, but whatever, I got my AMA tonight. So the AMA is tonight. It's 8 o'clock Eastern, Patreons only, sorry. But this is the end of April. That's usually when I do my Patreon AMA. And that's what you pay the $20 versus the $5 for. So tonight, if you have questions, I posted already over on Patreon. If you have questions you can't make the call, be happy to answer your questions if you post them there. Just come back to them, and it'll be 8 o'clock Eastern. It'll be recorded as well. And I'll be putting that on an alternative location so I don't get flagged on this account if we talk about anything controversial. Speaking of which, there's lots going on. I've been catching up on a lot of different things. I'm going to touch on today on real estate. I'm going to touch on Japan's economy, the bond market, all that good stuff. So I've been watching a lot of YouTube videos, a lot of people I trust and like to watch, and there's some stuff going on. So let's get right to it. So the first thing, and again, you need to follow me on Instagram, LitecoinLeader. I post a lot of stuff over there too. It's where I pick up on a lot of different stories as well. Fidelity has launched a 401k product where you can invest in Bitcoin, and it won't be for much expense. I think the fees are like 1% or less, and it looks to be a pretty good vehicle for 401k products. I don't know the details, but the details are going to be important. You need to know who holds the keys. Are they actually buying Bitcoin, or are they buying ETFs? Is it a derivative product? Make sure that they're actually holding native Bitcoin. So it sounds good, but I still like my self-directed IRA where I can actually know what's in the wallets. So that's Fidelity. It's a good positive news that Fidelity is talking about buying Bitcoin. That's a good positive for the industry. So that we got that. And then the next thing I wanted to talk about, and I'm probably going to have to cut away into this video because I was watching, I'll tell you some of the videos I've been watching. I don't know if you care. I don't know if you're going to do any homework and watch them, but I'll link them all the same and at the bottom of the description. There were lots of videos that I watched. First off, I watched George at Cryptos R Us. Great channel. I think he does 3 live shows a day, which is insane. I don't know how his family appreciates that, but whatever. That's what he chooses to do. And it's good content. So he goes over the news and he talks about what's going on. And one of the things he talked about, I think yesterday, or maybe even this morning, I don't know, it blurs together, the dollar index, which is known as the DXY. That it's starting to peak again. It's going up. It's over 100 again. The last 2 times it's gone over 95 to 98. When it peaked, and then came back down. After the peak in the dollar, when it went up to like 97 or 100, and then started coming back down, that's when Bitcoin took off. So the first time it happened in January of 2017, and then it happened again in March of 2020. And there were huge run-ups for the next several months in both assets. I think it was a 2,500% and a 1,400%. I'm going to pause here. I'm going to splice in the video and then let you watch that 2 minutes, and then where I talk about the 2 charts, because it was a really good juxtaposition of 2 charts, one on top of another, and you'll see. Here we go. So I'm going to record a short video here from Cryptos R Us, and it's just going to be it's a snapshot. I'll include the link to this video. I think it was from last night. It's a really good combination chart. That's why I wanted to use it. And I wanted to point out that this is the top chart, the one with the white background, is one where we're looking at Bitcoin against the dollar. Is that right? Bitcoin, let's see, Bitcoin, yeah. So Bitcoin, the price of Bitcoin, yes. It's on a log scale, and we see, this is a monthly chart. And we start from this is the big run up from, I guess, all of 2017. So 2017, when the dollar peaked in January of 2017, it went up about 2,500% from the dollar top here on the bottom chart. This is what they call the DXY, which is the dollar index against other currencies. When dollar got over that numbers, this line is 100 right here. So when the dollar gets, this is 96, 98. So when it gets over 96 or so, you get to a peak. When it gets to a peak, Bitcoin goes on a run, and you can see it runs until the dollar hits a bottom. That happened in 2018. So then it happened again in March of 2020, and it went up 1,400%. And we know about the cerveza sickness, which happened back then. And now we're looking at we could be in a similar position now where it could happen again. So if I was to speculate, and this is pure conjecture, we had 2,500%, which is about double 1,400%, roughly 1,400, 2,800, call it even. So I will say cut this number in half and take away a little bit. So I'd say about a 500% run up is not out of the realm of possibility, and Bitcoin's at 40,000. That could be a $200,000 Bitcoin. That's what I wanted to share today with this chart. Okay, so there's the two charts, and we talked about it. It's really important to watch all these different economic dynamics, because as I said before, it all interplays and intertwines together. And I know this is a crypto channel, but it's really an economic channel. It really is, because everything ties into the economy. So now we just talked about the dollar. Now I'm going to talk about the bond market and the real estate market. So first off, Economic Ninja's been tracking the mortgage rates and what's going on in real estate. I think he still has a realtor license in California. I used to be a real estate investor. I follow a lot of the things that are going on. The mortgages are starting to peak. They're like getting at 5-6%. I mean, even at, I watched another channel. I can't even remember which one it was. I think his channel led me to another channel, and that's just how the rabbit hole goes. But I watched another channel. They talked about like the average mortgage rate is 5 to 6% now, and that's for good credit. So when you get to bad credit, or like your I don't even remember what the subprime. That's what the term is. Subprime loans. Those loans are like 7-8%. So it's getting tricky to buy again. And just I remember, let's see, the rule was, I think mortgage prices have gone up like 50%. So, and there was an article, I think, and I can post this too. There's lots of stuff to look at, but I know that Ninja was talking about a zero hedge article about how the days on market are increasing, how the prices of homes have to decrease because the mortgage payments are going up. All these things that are intertwined. It's like the real estate market, like for the first time in a long time, the prices are starting to come down and inventory might start to creep up. So if you're looking to buy a house, I'm not sure yet. Honestly, I'm not sure yet. I don't think we're at the bottom yet by any means, but it's starting to look in a positive trend for you to get a better house. The mortgage rates are going to be the issue. So if you can work out a good deal, or you can structure a good deal, and I used to do that, maybe with an assumed loan or a wraparound mortgage, something like that. Lots of different things you can do, but those are things that you can look at. So that's one. So real estate is starting to peak. Mortgages are starting to not look as attractive as they used to be. That's another reason why people are trying to hurry up and buy. But the inventory is so low that there's nothing to buy. There's nothing good. Everything's overpriced. So now a lot of people are saying, like, you know what, not right now. I'm going to back off. I'll come back to this later. Respect to that. I totally get that feeling. So lastly, the bond market and Japan's economy. Now, I watched both Mike Maloney and Glenn Beck yesterday. They both talked about them. Japan's economy is a lot like ours, and it's complicated. It is, I'll tell you that right now, but it's related to the bond market, both Japan and the United States. So in Japan, they have state mandates where you have to buy bonds, Japanese bonds, for retirement vehicles. They have a very older population in Japan. I think it's 3.4 retirees for every working person. Not good. So the working individuals have to support the elderly. That's part of the culture of Japan, sure, but that's a lot of stress on the economy. So what they've tried to do is they are making these they're trying to make these 0% bonds that these investment vehicles have to buy, and then they take that money. Well, first they print more currency, they print more yen, they buy these bonds, and then those bonds, they sell them to the 401k investment vehicles, take that money and buy U.S. bonds at 2% and make money on the difference. Now, 2% may not seem like a lot, but it's enough, according to Glenn Beck. It's like $40 to $50 billion. That's enough to pay for their entire military budget for Japan. So, but now, and apparently the U.S. gave Japan $7 trillion since last year, which doesn't surprise me because, we print it it's more prevalent than toilet paper than it used to be. or is, who knows. But now Japan is asking, they called the United States, so they wanted to talk and to say, hey, we kind of need more money, and I need you to buy some more stuff. I don't know what was up with my hair today. Whatever. I know it's such vanity when you're on YouTube. It's ridiculous, especially when I'm looking at myself as I'm talking to you guys, which is kind of crazy. But you get used to it, kind of. Anyway, Japan's economy is not looking good, and if that goes belly up, then not only do we lose a stronghold in Asia for everything that's happening in Asia and the other part of the globe, even to Australia, we have a permanent base in Japan. That would not be good. Japan just goes into a death spiral of economics, where they just print more money, buy more bonds, and just cycle. And that's kind of where the U.S. is heading too. So the U.S. and Japanese markets are intertwined because, again, Japan's buying our bonds. That's how the United States funds things. If we print money and create new currency, that's often done through a bond vehicle, and the Treasury sells the bond, and that's where the currency goes in, and then like the Treasury bill just is there. Now, the ideal path is that someone like another country buys our Treasury bonds, which is great when we have 1-2% return on investment. And everybody else has negative bonds across the globe. And Japan is at 0. Europe is mostly negative. Our bonds look attractive, very attractive, relatively speaking. But lately, the Treasury has had to buy their own bonds. And that's not good, because that basically means that we're not exporting inflation anymore, which is our primary export. So that's a big problem. So yes, the dollar is going up, but the strength of the dollar is teetering, and it could start to decline soon, along with Japan's economy and the bond market, and it's all intertwined. So that run-up that the chart is predicting, that George shared, which I had not seen that before, which is really like comparison of the run in Bitcoin compared to the DXY, I like it a lot, and I could see where that could happen. Because if Japan has problems, if we have problems in the bond market, if the dollar starts having issues, if the real estate market starts to go sour, all those things could lead to hyperinflation, which we're all expecting. And one of the last bastions of safety right now to preserve your wealth is Bitcoin. Other cryptos too, but predominantly Bitcoin. So think about that. Go back and look at the chart that I posted. Take a look at the other videos I'm going to post too, because I got a lot of links to include. So we'll get to that when I'm starting my post-production edit time of day. So a lot said today. I hope to see you on the AMA tonight. And if you can't make it, leave a question. And if you're not there, and I know it's the end of the month, join my Patreon next month. There'll be more news. There'll be another AMA. That I post several things there. It's $5 for that. $20 if you wanted to join the AMA. It's a good time. It's about an hour. We just talk, and you can ask whatever you want on any subject you want, YouTube friendly or not. So, a lot said today. I'm going to close the drawer on the bureau, say follow the leader, and I will talk to you soon. Take care.